Ladies and gentlemen, one of YouTube's own channels, YouTube Creators, has released a video called YouTube's Creator Responsibility Initiative. I find this quite interesting, especially the timing of this video, which comes shortly after the termination of YouTuber Jaystation, a controversial YouTuber, to say the least. But let's have a look at what they said in their Creator Responsibility Initiative and see what we can pick apart from it in our standard reaction format.
Hey creators, true or false? A creator can get demonetized or suspended from YouTube even though their videos didn't break community guidelines. What do you think?
Absolutely 100% true. You can break virtually no rule on YouTube and still be demonetized or terminated. We've seen it before.
If you said true, you're right. And although it's rare, you may have seen it happen in recent years.
Case in point, Jaystation.
In this video, I want to tell you about YouTube's Creator Responsibility Initiative.
That's quite the interesting name they've got there. Quite the interesting clause of control over the content being uploaded to the platform.
Something you may have seen in the news, but not fully understood. First, for some background, as a YouTube creator, you're sometimes seen as a representative of the platform.
Of course, every time something goes bad and the person associated with something going bad has any sniff of having a YouTube channel, it's all over the newspapers. YouTuber shot dead when prank goes wrong. Things like that. Always at the front and center of the headline, YouTube.
And a member of this giant influential community.
Millions and millions of YouTube channels and billions of people watching the platform a month.
The more popular you get, the more you're probably called a YouTuber, and the more you help represent the whole global community of creators. Not to mention, you're probably admired by many smaller creators who would love to achieve your level of success.
It's quite a cringy way to put it. Thinking of myself as a role model. Ugh.
I'm a role model.
I'm sure you are. Starfleet out.
So, not to sound all dad-like here, but you might say that with great popularity comes great responsibility.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Perhaps they're all remembering that old saying, power corrupts.
And absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
It becomes your responsibility, along with every YouTube creator, to help us keep the ecosystem healthy.
I suppose he has a point, but at the same time, a YouTube creator, a YouTuber, is only as good as the platform that they are on. And YouTube as a platform really needs to do more to help itself and abide by these stipulations that it's putting forward. People who create fake accounts to evade bans being one of the main ones. IP banning should be something that YouTube should be looking into. Blockers to prevent spam from appearing on channels. Blockers to prevent spam from even being posted. If a person hits the return button, it should say, sorry, your comment's going nowhere because it's spam. Reword it. This mainly focusing towards bot activity, vom.whatever of the day. But also, people who type in profanities should also have this stop. You're not allowed to post that. Or reword it. Ladies and gentlemen, what I am saying is not a stifling of free speech. By its definition, free speech does not allow evil speech. If you need a citation on that one, fall back on the US Constitution. Or the age-old adage, you're not allowed to yell fire in the library when there is no fire.
Now, if the things you do and say as such a representative are really reckless, dangerous, inappropriate, on video or not, you can actually cause damage to YouTube and its millions of creators.
YouTube doesn't have to host opinions that it doesn't like. That's not a breach of free speech amendments. That's just YouTube being YouTube. It's not the government. It's not a public space It's not like being arrested and dragged off to jail for saying something a little bit edgy. It's being removed from a platform for being too edgy to abide by its rules. YouTube doesn't have to host or reward that behaviour, and fact is, if people do get kicked off of YouTube, well, you can go and create your own website. You can go to a multitude of other places and your free speech can be used there. If I wanted to, I could literally go and stand on a soapbox in the middle of the city square and talk my videos there.
By hurting their reputation and revenue. Why? Because YouTube and advertisers don't want to be associated with that level of craziness.
Good wording. YouTube and their advertisers don't want to be associated with that level of craziness. That being said, though, at the same time, YouTube needs to do more to curb that craziness, to get rid of the bad actors that abuse the platform and the people who are here trying to make an honest day of it.
And when advertisers pull their spend, everybody loses.
We've seen it so many times before and will no doubt see it again. Adpocalypses, people like Logan Paul causing YouTube as a platform to tighten up all of its rules, making YouTube a lot more difficult for everyone else on the platform as it blunders from one disaster to the next. I wonder what the next one will be.
That's why YouTube has this creator responsibility initiative.
Yes, they're holding their creators accountable for their actions, either on platform or off platform.
Where even if a creator's videos don't explicitly violate the community guidelines, there's a whole team of experts who weigh in on whether action is taken on a channel.
This part goes out to all y'all who are like, I was false flagged! You have uploaded a video to a platform which has a whole host of robotic algorithms that scan every single second of content uploaded to it. It's not that you've been false flagged by people that you don't like.
I am being silenced by everyone who I don't like.
It's that you've done something stupid and YouTube has held you accountable for your actions. The weaselly way that people have of blaming external factors for their own actions. Well, this time, they are merely lying to themselves.
And the penalties can include demonetization of a channel temporarily or permanently. This means a creator can still upload but can't make any ad revenue. It can include restriction of videos in YouTube recommendations, like on the homepage, trending tab, and or the watch next section.
I will note that it does appear that the YouTuber is not informed that their videos are being throttled in some way by the YouTube algorithms as a platform.
And even loss of support from that creator's partner manager. Now, again, these situations are rare and often temporary. Privileges are usually given back after a period of time and good behavior. So that's how it works, and I hope this helps explain some of the headlines you see occasionally. If this would never be an issue for you, thanks for being a great representative of YouTube and its creators.
Thank you. I think at the end of that, there's still an ambiguity there because, well, YouTube doesn't interact with its creators much. It doesn't tell us things. It doesn't email us if we've done something wrong. So, if someone's on that pattern of bad behavior that YouTube doesn't really like, you won't find out about it until they terminate you or demonetize you. I'm noting again, Jaystation seemingly terminated with no warning. Now, if he had been given warnings that his content was too edgy for the platform, yeah, that would be a good thing, and he could curb his behaviour, but he was just Q-snapped out of existence.
Penalty!
As per usual, ladies and gentlemen, it comes down to YouTube not being very transparent with its creators, and I think that is the biggest worry to a YouTube creator. It's not hacking, it's not being damaged by criminal elements that use the platform. The biggest threat to YouTubers is YouTube itself. And I said that in a video 4 years ago. And after all this time of collecting, collating, learning about the platform, I still find that my biggest worry and my biggest anxiety about YouTube is YouTube itself. Anyway, I have other videos on my channel, ladies and gentlemen. Please feel free to go and give them a watch, and you can subscribe and stuff, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.